Good morning, everyone. Before I get into the video proper, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for all the positive comments sent my way about the Wild Man print. They've been very encouraging, and I've really enjoyed hearing your thoughts on the piece. Secondly, to those who did purchase a print, many thanks. Your support means more to me than I can express in a short video, so truly thank you. Lastly, the reason the option for purchasing a print directly from the Wild Man Facebook page is not available yet is because my page doesn't meet the required number of followers to qualify. So please hit the follow button. It makes a huge difference. Thank you, and we'll get to the video. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about an artist who was really the main reason I started researching and finally trying my hand at a woodcut print. Over the last couple of years, I've been digging into a lot of classic literature like Dante's Divine Comedy and Don Quixote, as well as classic poems like The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. And a friend of mine brought to my attention that many of the books I was reading were famously illustrated by an artist by the name of Gustave Doré. So I started researching Doré's illustrations online, and I purchased versions of these classic books that contained his works, and his art absolutely blew me away. And one of these books contained an introduction about the remarkable life and career of Doré. He was born in 1832 in Strasbourg, Alsace. My great-grandfather Bernard Lachine emigrated from Alsace to Harwich Township here in Chatham in southern Ontario, probably around 1840. So I feel a bit of an instant connection with Doré there. He was a natural and showed great promise from a very early age. He didn't receive any formal training, and not having any formal training myself, it was kind of another point of connection for me. By the time he was 15 years old, he was working full-time as an artist for a magazine publisher in Paris. Quickly his reputation as an illustrator grew, and before long he was in enormous demand. The early part of his career he did lithographs, drawing directly onto stone, but later he produced works on wood blocks. And he wasn't happy with the wood engravers some of the publishers provided, so he eventually recruited a young group of wood engravers that he felt more faithfully would interpret his drawings. And that's why on Doré illustrations you'll see two signatures, his own and that of the wood engraver. With his gifts as an illustrator and painter and sculptor in full bloom, he sadly had a stroke and died at a relatively young age of 51. Fortunately for us, he left behind an enormous body of work. He was as prolific as he was masterful. For a single book he illustrated in 1855, he produced 425 illustrations. It's mind-boggling. I found it hard to believe these illustrations were printed on wood, so I started again researching, and I found out there's wood engraving and like Doré's work, and then there's woodcuts. Wood engravings are done with the end grain of wood, and the woodcuts are done with the side grain. Very different tools are used for each discipline also. So I decided to try woodcut. I thought it was more accessible as a starter. So eventually the Wild Man came into being. Besides Doré, I'd have to say a major reason I tried my hand at woodcut was the recent passing of my father, Carl Lachine, who was a very talented woodworker in his retirement. In fact, the Wild Man print was cut from a piece of wood I got from my father's workshop. I'll provide some links to some of Doré's work in the post, and I urge you to take some time to look at the art of this enormously gifted man. You're surely to be glad you did. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Doré's work. So please comment. Remember to hit all the like and follow buttons hanging all about. They really do help. So thank you. Prints of the Wild Man are available at my shop in Etsy. I'll post a link to that also. So have a great week, everyone, and until next time.